Hey everyone, welcome back to our YouTube video. So just want to touch on the work that's been done on the fairway since the last video. So basically what we did is we brought in a scarifier, we brought in a Sisis Vimo. We double scarified these fairways, so we went right to left, left to right. We then collected all of the debris that came out with our Trilo collector, and we then cut the fairways, and then they were all blown off again, so left nice and clean. We removed in total, crikey, 60 to 80 tonne of debris from this. We took a lot of stuff out. Unfortunately, because conditions are still very dry, it's quite hard. Obviously the pan on top, we were only able to go between 8 to 10 mil. We would have liked to have gone deeper, but that's all we could go with that machine. It's done a lovely, neat job. Already we're seeing a lot of kind of the natural fescues popping through, and really now the follow-up, there's a few options for us. We're thinking potentially of bringing in another machine to do a deeper scarify before going into winter. There's obviously benefits to this, and there's also a little bit of risk with this. We're also planning next spring, obviously doing another scarify like we've done this time on these fairways, and we will be doing a little bit of overseeding on the weaker fairways. Jockey Field fairways look good. I think they're bouncing back very well, but the fairways out here on the common, the natural kind of fescues are coming through, but they're struggling, as you can see. So we're going to try and give us some options for what we can do to give the best results. But the team put in a fantastic shift the other week doing this work, late nights, working in the dry in the afternoons, and yeah, it all went very well, and hopefully they'll improve week by week. And now we're going to go to a tee to have a look at the work that's been done there. So here we are on the 16th medal tee, and what we've done this week, especially with some of the weaker tees, is we've done a little bit of work to just try and promote some growth, build them up a little bit going into the autumn winter months. All the tees on the course have been double scarified with a Vimo last week with a fairway operation, which removed a nice bit of thatch and matter from them, so that work was all completed. And this week we focused our attention on tees like this, medal tees, high wearing tees on the par 3s that have struggled as well through the summer, and some that have struggled with getting enough water on them as well. So we've come in here and we've done some solid tine work, put a load of holes in here, then we've overseeded all the tees heavily with some rye, and then we've applied a light dressing, and then all this has been dragged in. And then this morning Sam's been out and we've done all the tees, and we've put a nice light granular fertiliser on there, and hopefully with the 10 mil of rain that's coming later on, that will wash in nicely before the weekend. So all the work has been timed and executed very well this week, and hopefully we can get some recovery here on these tees and be in a better place going into the autumn winter. And now we're going to go to a green to have a look at what we've been doing. So here we are on the 7th green, and I just want to talk you through a number of things that we're starting to do now that we're going into the autumn winter months. So firstly, height of cuts. We've raised the height of cuts on tees, greens and approaches in the last couple of weeks, and we've been doing it very gradually, so it's not too noticeable. It hasn't affected playing conditions too much. Last year we were a bit late doing this, so it was very important for us as a team this year that we bring the heights up at the right time, which I think we have. This week as well, we've got a light granular that's gone out on these greens. There's a kind of well-balanced granular to give the sward a bit of strength, give it a bit of protection from disease, and to just promote a little bit of growth before we go into the autumn winter. Also, just want to talk to you about silver moss. So there is a little bit of moss in some of these greens on the course, which is called silver moss. It's quite a harsh spreading moss, and we have had the issue over the last few years. Not overly sure really how it's come in and kind of what's done it, but what we are doing is obviously dealing with it quite well, and the granular that's gone on, the metal sprays that are starting to go out now as a kind of prevention for disease, will start suppressing this moss, and you will start seeing it go black, and it will start gradually fading out. So that's really touching on that. We're obviously, now that growth is kind of coming to a bit of a slow now, we're starting to back off with cutting each day. So we're cutting on alternative days. We're doing as well on days when we don't have any events, tournaments, a little bit of swishing and brushing, so we can just back off of the surfaces and give them a bit of rest. With the perimeters as well, we're tending to just cut those at 2-3 times a week to just try and promote a bit of growth on there and recovery. So yeah, all good practices basically to just help the surfaces regenerate, recover going into the autumn winter, and that's everything on the greens. So just before we finish off the video, we want to just throw in a little bit about the bunkers. I've had a few comments over the last couple of weeks with the condition of the bunkers and obviously the overall appearance of them. Obviously with the work we've been doing with the scarifying and other areas on the course we've been focusing on, our attention has come away slightly from the bunkers, which sometimes we have to do to be able to get the main jobs on the course done. We're back on it however this week, and we've been raking every day. We've got a nice rhythm, nice program now. We're raking green sides kind of most days, and then obviously the fairway bunkers every other day. This bunker's just been freshly raked this morning, and what we're doing now is we're going away from our summer raking style to more of a full teeth rake of the bunker, which is kind of our winter raking style. Helps to keep the sand there a bit more with the rain that we've got around at the moment. Obviously prevents weeds coming through, so it's a good style for the winter. Also as well, just to make you aware, we have got quite an issue at the moment with rabbits out on the course, and they are creating quite a lot of mess in particularly the fairway bunkers overnight. So if you are finding bunkers that appear a bit spoiled, it is because we've got quite a large pest problem at the moment, and obviously we're working towards what we can do with that. So yes, as I said, a bit more of an emphasis this week on bunker raking, and this will now continue as we reduce our amount of grass cutting. This will allow a bit more time for bunker raking and overall presentation on the course.